the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal program.
And good morning to you, March the 7th, as we welcome Todd and Tanner to the program this morning. Good morning, Todd.
Morning, Randy. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Before we start off today, I want to welcome our special guests. We have JeeAnne Peterson from Winamac High School and Sophie McCall from Rochester High School. They'll be talking about their experiences with distinguished young women. And they've had a pretty busy winter so far. So, you see the snow on Wednesday night,
Yeah,
Randy?
yeah. We did get a little bit.
You know what that means?
No, what does it?
High school basketball time.
Ah, yeah.
Beginning of March Madness.
Yes.
For the high school version. And
Well, that's kind of minute. Usually it's worse than that.
yeah.
I mean, usually
Could be
there's-
deeper, right?
Yeah, deeper and, not gone already.
So, plus also March Madness now, we're doing the time change again this weekend.
Oh,
Moving
yes. Gotta remember that. I'm going to lose an hour's sleep this
forward. There's
weekend.
an hour sleep, so do you change your
Go to bed early.
schedule on that day at all?
If I can.
Okay.
It usually never works out, though. I mean,
Do you always feel it's shortchanged because you had one less
Monday
hour of sleep?
morning tends to be a little rougher, yeah.
So, got a lot going on with high school basketball coming up,
It
and
is.
March Madness, the Big Ten women's tournament's going on this week, the men's tournament next week, and it's hard to believe, 2 weeks from today,
Yeah.
we'll be in the middle of NCAA March Madness.
And that's when the fun starts.
Yes.
Selection Sunday, see who all makes it.
So, big game tonight for Rochester.
There is. Was there an action game number 1 tonight as they take on the Manchester Squires? So it's a 6 o'clock game. It's an early one. It's the first one of the night. So we'll be on the air about 5:40 with the Rochester Ford pregame show.
That's great. We'll do a little bit more high school sports in a second when Tanner comes over. Today's National Cereal Day. You know that?
I like cereal.
Everybody loves it. Who doesn't love cereal?
Yeah, that's good.
JeeAnne, Sophie, do you like cereal?
I like cereal.
Yeah. Sometimes cereal's like a main course dinner. Sometimes.
Sometimes you can do that.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times.
So
Late night, nothing to eat.
Tanner's came up with a great question for
Oh
National
my.
Cereal Day.
Can't wait.
Per annual sales, what is the most popular cereal in the United States?
Ooh.
We'll answer this question at the end of the show, but JeeAnne and Sophie are welcome to play along. The choices are Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but at my age, you probably really shouldn't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Then we got Frosted Flakes, just as good. Cheerios, a mainstay, and Honey Nut Cheerios. Those are tough choices, I think.
They are. 'Cause the one I thought maybe would be there was not even a choice.
What was that?
Rice Krispies.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I thought maybe Rice Krispies.
I like all four
So,
selections myself.
yeah. So I'm going to have to think on this one now. I thought I had the answer when the question came out, but
Sorry to disappoint.
Tanner's answers didn't allow that.
So I've had at least 2 of these in 2025.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yeah,
yeah. So on to sports, Tanner.
yeah. It kind of hit on it a few minutes ago. Of course, it's March. You think basketball right away, March Madness, especially in the state of Indiana. Hoosier hysteria.
Uh-huh.
Zebras are in action tonight, taking their 17-5 record against TRC rival Manchester with a 20-2 record. How did that game go the first time?
Well, Zebras hung with them until about the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. It was a 5-point game, and then Manchester took over. So, but the Zebras were also missing Owen Prater and Xavier Vance that night, so
Make a big difference.
could make a big difference. And it's sectional time, a little more pressure on the line.
Neutral court.
Neutral court, yeah.
Even though it's a court that both teams are familiar with, being at Wabash, who's also
Right.
in TRC.
Yeah, so Zebras are going to need everybody tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and what's the pregame time again?
5:40.
5:40?
Yep.
6 o'clock tip?
Tip at 6 with sectional, so that's kind of a different time too.
Yeah.
Where Manchester, they didn't play Tuesday night. Rochester's already got used to that because they played at that time. So it's little things that add up. You never
Right.
know what might happen.
Right.
So,
And Oak Hill and Lewis Cass also
Yeah.
still live in that sectional.
Yeah,
So
that'll be game number
TRC heavy
Yeah.
sectional
Yeah.
there for sure.
Yeah.
Finals will be a TRC team.
Well, Oak Hill's
Oak Hill's not in.
They used to be.
Yeah. Former TRC.
Yeah.
some connections there.
Yeah. Exciting time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Plus-
Go ahead.
That's good you mentioned that Rochester's already played, and they've got
Yep,
their
yep, they played the
sectional
season,
jitters out
Yeah,
already.
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
That's big in the sectional.
Oh yeah. Survive in advance.
Yeah.
Tippecanoe Valley 19-5. They take on Wawasee, who's 6-16. Fairfield and Columbia City are also still alive in that sectional. And Caston 13-10. They play West Central, who's 16-7. Tri-County and Pioneer are still alive. So
Yeah.
still got a decent amount of local teams.
Winamac still alive as well.
Yes,
so,
yes.
They play tonight too. So
Yeah.
yeah. So several teams around the area.
Yeah, it makes it exciting for
Yep.
sure.
So if you're looking for something to do, go out and check the section. Go out and check out the
Yeah.
sectional games. It's
And then
exciting time.
Peru and McCall both at Logan Sports. So
Yeah.
Peru's in that first game against Logan Sport, and then McCall against Northwestern. Another TRC
Yeah.
heavy sectional.
Yeah.
In game number 2 at Logan Sports. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
do,
old Berry Bowl.
do you like, and I might have asked you this before, do you like the new format of the postseason with the change with the regional and semi-state?
Yeah. It
doesn't matter.
I don't know if it really matters. I mean, I remember the old days where you had to win 2 to get to the semi-state.
Yeah.
And now.
Then you had to win 2 in the semi-state to get to the state.
Yeah, the old way, you had to get 2 in the semi-state to get state. But yeah, I think it puts a little more hype maybe in the semi-state,
Sure.
and I think that's what IHSA was hoping for,
Yeah.
because of, you get the 2 and the regional, and then semi-state was just kind of, okay, here you got 1 game, so
Mhm.
puts a little more hype back into semi-state, so it's all right. I mean, it turns out, most coaches are like, okay, we just had to play 3 in sectional, so 1 regional game,
Yeah.
they're okay with.
Yeah, a little bit of a
Yeah.
break in a way if you can get
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
So,
College basketball, yeah, the regular season's wrapping up,
Mhm.
and we'll have men's conference tournament next week. Got the women's going on right now. Got some mid majors for the men's going on right now. So a lot
Fun
of
time.
stuff. Purdue plays tonight at Illinois, 8 o'clock on Fox. Purdue needs this win if they want to keep their double bye in the Big Ten tournament streak going.
Yeah.
They're the only team in the conference that has had a double bye every year since that became a thing about a decade or so ago. They could still, I guess, theoretically get it if they lost with some help.
Yeah.
But there's so many teams jumbled up there for the 3rd and 4th
I was
spot
gonna say,
right
you
now.
don't want to rely on help.
No, you don't. Never. Michigan State clinched the outright Big Ten
And I
title
mean, it
last
could
night.
help them maybe preserve like a top 4 seed
Sure.
potentially.
Right. They probably wouldn't have to do
For
as
the
much
NCAA.
in the Big Ten tournament. Once again, that game's at 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. Usually a pretty good game between those two teams.
Yeah. Especially when it gets to Illinois.
Yeah, they're gonna be fired up. It's the only time these two teams have played all year too. So Indiana has a big one tomorrow for both teams against Ohio State.
Also known as a play-in game. So
Yeah,
the NCAA
yeah.
tournament probably.
Yeah, they're both teams are right there on either side of the bubble, depending on what bracketology you look at. That game's at 3:45 on CBS.
The Hoosiers did what we said they needed to
They
do
need to
last
split.
weekend. Yeah, they
Yep.
needed to go 1-1, so
Yep.
they did pull that off.
Yep.
Now, can they get Ohio State tomorrow?
Ohio State survived a scare in double overtime the other night earlier this
Yeah.
week. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It was a
I
good
use
matchup
it-
the first time they
Was
played.
in the game against Oregon the whole game until
Yeah.
Yeah.
the 30-foot three-pointer shot at the end of the game.
And,
Not that I'm bitter or anything.
and the other, 20-some free throws that they shot
Oh, yeah.
that IU didn't.
Been there in
Yeah.
Big Ten this year. Yeah,
Seems like it's when you go to West, it's a little different.
4 up to Michigan.
No, probably you think in Bloomington and I think in West Lafayette.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say that's true. That's fair. Notre Dame, 13-17, they host California, who's also 13-17. That game's at 4 o'clock on the ACC Network tomorrow.
The
And
big ACC game, Notre Dame and California. Who would have thought?
just shake my head.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
I mean, it's well, when you if you
Throw,
think back,
throw geography out the window. It
right?
doesn't matter.
Well, when you think about we're talking about Indiana and Oregon.
I know,
Washington. It's like
Football powers everything. That's
Yeah.
all they think about, and
Yep.
all the other sports figured out,
Yeah.
pretty much.
The Big Ten Women's Tournament, Indiana played Oregon yesterday
Yeah.
and won.
Yeah.
Now they're playing USC today.
So strange. Yeah, the Butler's also 13-17. They travel to Creighton, who's 21-9.
Oop.
That game's tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports.
Okay. Butler struggling this year.
Yeah, they are. The Thad Matta era hasn't gone so well the last 2 years, or the second Thad Matta era,
Yeah,
I should say.
there you go.
But
Will he survive?
I think he will for one more year. I'm sure he can probably decide when he wants to
Yeah.
step away. But I think that's a lot tougher job than it used to be now in the
Oh,
new
especially
world of
with
college
yeah,
athletics.
yeah.
I don't know that Butler has that next in line like they've had
I don't-
for
Yeah,
25 years.
I don't think so. Yeah, so. Interesting.
I haven't heard much from my Butler.
No.
My Butler source this year. So
No, me neither. Me neither. We got a couple of them. They've been pretty quiet.
yeah.
So, we got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1857, baseball decided that 9 innings would consist of an official game, not 9 runs.
No,
I did not know that.
I didn't
I
either.
didn't either. Wow.
So, that was one of the really early rules there.
That's why the Cubs only played a couple innings in the first part of the history.
Yeah.
Or the White Sox in spring training right now.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
On this day in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell received a patent for the telephone in the United States.
It's kind of important.
Pretty good invention.
Yeah.
Just think about that. I mean, how important that was in our industrial development.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
how now it's just taken for granted and it's
Yep.
not even considered as an important thing.
Now we have phones in our pocket.
Yeah.
And people don't even call; they text and message.
Right.
things like that.
FaceTime. Yep. On this day in 1982, the NCAA tournament selection was televised live for the first time.
Really.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
I figured it had been before that.
Yeah. No kidding.
You know, on this day in 2016, Peyton Manning officially announced his retirement from the NFL. Hard to believe it's been 9 years already.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it.
He's keeping busy though.
Yeah.
Plenty of commercials,
I was
and
gonna say
show his
that's
own,
never a problem.
production company, and all that stuff. Well, like Todd mentioned during the trivia question, today's National Cereal Day. It's also National Sock Monkey Day. Not quite sure what that is. It had a picture of monkeys on the sock.
You've never made a monkey out of a sock?
No.
Or anything like-
It's
either have I.
okay. Well, that makes you feel better.
But it's a toy out there. I've seen it.
Yeah?
A lot of, yeah. You can even buy a sock monkey toy.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Interesting. Things
National,
you learn.
yes. National Employee Appreciation Day. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
National Flapjack Day, or pancakes, I guess we want to call it.
I like that.
Alexander Graham Bell Day. Plant Power Day. Friday Fish Fry Day. National Middle Name Pride Day. That one seems to come up every year here on the radio show. National Dress in Blue Day. You got blue jeans on.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
that's about as far as I got on blue.
Everybody has a little blue on here this morning.
And National Tartar Sauce Day, which I guess goes with the
Right,
fresh
that's
fish
what I was
fry.
gonna say. You gotta have fish
Yep.
fry. You gotta have tartar sauce.
Yep.
And Lent has started, so
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
good.
There you
good
go.
throw in there.
Great timing. Yep.
So some upcoming events. Tanner, we've got the Times Theater hosting. I don't even know how to say it.
Whoa,
Whoa,
man.
man.
Whoa, man. Yeah,
Whoa,
with
man.
some
Yeah.
exclamation
With
points
some
there.
emphasis. Tomorrow night, $25 general admission. Doors open at 6:45. Special guest Foxy kicks off with an acoustic set at 7 p.m. Then Woman goes on stage. Yes, they're a band that celebrates the iconic Women of Rock.
Cool. Sounds fun.
So a lot of those Women of Rock sounds from like Carole King, Pat Benatar, Harp, Supremes, Joan Jett, Stevie Nicks, Gwen Stefani, and many others.
Yep.
So
Many others. Yep.
probably be a good show. So if you're interested in that, get tickets and go out tomorrow night.
Yeah. And we have a whole group from group members of our First Photo family going, attending tomorrow night. So I think they're looking forward to that.
Money news. Been kind of a rocky week for the Dow. It finished at 42,579 yesterday, down over 400 points. Last Friday it was 43,200, so it's about 1,000 down this month, but it's a good view of a roller coaster if you look at this chart this week, because it's up and down and leaning towards down.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully up.
Yeah,
Coming
hopefully
Coming
soon.
soon, yes.
It's a lot of uncertainty with
Yeah.
new administration and tariffs and things like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the economy will work its way out in the long run and for the best of all of us. So first Fed draw. We're open today from 8:30 to 5 and tomorrow 8:30 to noon. Being spring, that's a good time to start thinking about spring things. In banking, it's like home improvement, if you're thinking about moving, it's a good time to think about that because usually more houses come on the market. And we've got some great loan originators: Stacy Wilson, Ben Dalton, and Ryan Austin and Winnemac. So now's if you're thinking about doing anything with your house, even refinancing, rates have been up, but rates have been back down a little bit. And if you have a home equity line of credit, now's a good time of year to come visit us and talk to our loan originating experts, and they'd be happy to talk through what you're thinking about and maybe help guide you and help you with our home mortgage project.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of our loan originators stating a note saying, which I always like, especially he's talked about spring and more houses popping up on the market. Marry the home and date the rate. You can always refinance at a later time. You might not be able to get that dream home of yours if it's available, and you're in the market to take advantage.
Good point.
So to support our lending efforts, we love to have checking accounts. So
Yes.
we still offer our Simply Free checking account for personal use, and we have a Simply Free checking account for business use. So you get a free gift with that. And timely this year, we're phasing out the Martha Stewart cutlery set, and then a special bonus gift for the March Madness season.
Yeah, basketball cutting board.
How
next
appropriate.
week, so I'll try to remember to bring that in next week and show it off.
We're also interested in commercial loans. Contact Zach Reuter and contact Mark Lubaugh or Brian Bell for any financial service needs you have. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. And our NMLS number is 399927.
And with that, we are legal. Ready to go.
The fun part of the show.
Now the fun part.
We welcome Sophie McCall. Good morning, Sophie.
Good morning.
And JeeAnne Peterson. Good morning. Both of these young women have participated in the Distinguished Young Woman Program in Fulton County and Winnemac and Pulaski County starting in January. You've kind of been on a journey since January. Sophie and JeeAnne, why don't you talk a little bit about what you've experienced this winter so far?
Yes, so we've both been really busy this winter with our Distinguished Young Women stuff. A lot of January, a lot of February was spent practicing with each other, with our roommates, and it was a really good experience. It was really fun. I was on here at the beginning or end of January to talk about what I was looking forward to going to state, and I'm really excited to come back and report that. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. It was really great getting to know my roommate, and I feel like I grew within myself a lot just from January to February for being on here, so that was really fun. So yeah.
There's definitely a lot of preparation going into this program. We did a lot of mock interviews for 2 weeks in January and February, and going into the state program, I was definitely nervous, but then as soon as I got there, the driver started spoiling us, and I met my roommate. We just bonded instantly, and this was just a great experience, and I definitely wish I could go back.
So this is a program mainly where you both participate in competitions, and
Yes.
I have the list here. Sophie and Jan, Scholastic, Interview, there's some other things in there too. What are some of the other categories that you compete in and participate in?
Yes, there's self-expression, talent, and fitness, and then all of Scholastic and Interview are 25%, self-expression is 15%, as well as fitness, and then talent is 20% of our score.
So congratulations to both these young women because they were the winners of Fulton County and Winnemac. You knew that, Randy, right?
I did.
So they have some scholarship money, then that gave them the opportunity to advance to the state competition, and the state competition was recently. Why don't you tell us about where that was at and how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so the state competition was in Kokomo at the New Havens Auditorium. We spent most of our days there practicing from basically sun up to sundown. And it didn't feel the days were long, but it also helps that we had all of the other girls with us to kind of joke around with, laugh around with. We were all tired, but at least we were there together and we were able to talk through it. So I really enjoyed it every day.
I definitely agree that this week, because of how long the days were, was the shortest but longest week of my life. But again, being with the girls was extremely fun, and being able to bond with them, and I feel like with how tired we were able to bond even more through that.
So you basically get paired up with another contestant, and then you live with the host family, right? Let me talk
Yes.
about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my roommate was Francesca Orozco, and then we stayed with the E. Hastes house. That was my host family. And each night we would go home. It would be pretty late by the time we got home, but we would still stay up later talking to each other just about like our future plans or how this week was going, how we were feeling. And it was really nice to have that other person to like bounce off ideas with, or like for example, my roommate also was doing a speech for her talent. So it was really nice to be able to go back to our host family's house and like practice that together or practice fitness. So I really enjoyed having a roommate. It was fun.
Yes, my roommate was Julia Monick. She was the distinguishing woman of Lowell, and we got along great. Our host family was John and Kathy Tokarczyk. They were extremely sweet and very hospitable, and I loved my roommate. She was one of the sweetest people that I've ever met, and we got along just fine because we had a lot in common. One thing we had in common was that we both were obsessed with dachshunds, and she bought me matching pajamas that I still wear today.
So this is a great memorable experience for you at Steam Design.
Yeah, and all these girls that we met too, there's 23 total, but we all still like keep in contact. Like they were just texting in the group chat this week. So we made so many great connections, and I'm sure we'll continue on for the rest of our lives, I'm sure.
So we're talking to Sophie McCall and JeeAnne Peterson, Distinguished Young Women program. Both competed in the state tournament recently. What are a couple, 2 or 3 of your biggest takeaways from your experience with the Distinguished Young Women program?
For me, I would say like my speaking ability, I feel like has improved a lot. I've always been like more shy and introverted, but I feel like I've definitely come out of my shell more. Like I wouldn't have imagined myself doing this even 1 year ago. So I'm really proud of myself for that. I found a lot of confidence within myself with this program. And then I would also just say the importance of making connections, especially right now as a senior going through a lot of life changes. The connections that I've made within this program for like local and state has been really amazing, and I love how we've all helped each other out, and we're all at the same point in our lives, so we can go through it together.
I definitely agree with Sophie because I have gained a lot of confidence in this program, and there are things that I have taken up now, like speaking at my FCA group. I'm going to be doing that next Tuesday actually. That's not something that I would usually do, but because of this program, I'm able to jump into things like that because of the fact that I've gained more confidence and I'm more comfortable in my speaking abilities. And I've also just been able to know that I don't have to be ashamed of my hard work, especially coming from a smaller school. There are people there that may make you feel like you can't, like they don't want you to succeed, or they will kind of make fun of you for trying to work so hard at things. But being around the group of girls there and seeing how like-minded they were, I knew that I didn't have to be ashamed of working so hard.
Well, that's great. I have the program from the local competition in front of me, and this thing I see on there, it says, be your best self, and that's kind of what you're talking about right there. That's great. You can tell by, when we have guests on the radio, a lot of times you can tell they're really nervous. You guys are both composed and doing a great job, so you can see how the program's benefited you. So both of you are seniors in high school. JeeAnne, why don't you talk a little bit about what your future plans may be, even though some of them may not be ironed out yet.
I'm going to go to IU South Bend and major in dental hygiene, which is a bachelor's degree. And I'm really excited to go there. And another thing I'd like to add about this program is that, especially again with coming from a more rural community, and I've gone to Winnemac since I was in kindergarten, I've been around the same exact people throughout my life. And going to state and just being around the wonderful girls, I've definitely been more open to new friendships, and I've had more hope in college that I'll be able to make new friends just as easily. So I'm excited for the new beginnings that are coming.
That's a great point, JeeAnne, because a lot of times when you go to college, that might be your first time away from home and introduced to a new roommate potentially, new classmates, different experiences, and so you've kind of been up that learning curve already.
Yes, and one of my best friends from Winnemac, she's actually going to be my roommate, so that's really exciting that I'll have someone who's I'm familiar with there. But at IU South Bend, it's like instead of like a dorm, it's kind of like an apartment, and you'll have 2 other roommates if you like did a quad, and we plan on doing a quad. So the other 2 people will be completely random.
Okay, so it'll be the suite mates to you, something like that. Yeah, that's great. And Sophie, you're winding down your senior year too.
Yes.
A lot of activities going on at the end of the year. What are your plans? Do you have an idea?
Yes, so right now I'm undecided where I want to go to college, but I am thinking I want to go to nursing school. So I'm still waiting for some direct admit programs to release their admissions, and then that'll kind of help me make my decision. So I'm hoping by the end of spring break I'll know, so I do plan to go on some more college visits specifically for nursing. So hopefully I'll know by the end of spring break. That's my goal, but we'll
And
see.
spring break's coming up for both of
Yes.
you in a couple of weeks, and then you
Yep.
start winding down your senior year.
Mhm.
You're looking forward to the senior activities that are coming up?
I am, yeah. I know it's going to go by really fast, so I'm just going to enjoy every moment of it. I feel like since the beginning of this year started with Distinguished Young Women and everything, it's made it go by even faster since we've been so busy. But I've really enjoyed it, and I feel like I've made the best out of what senior year's been so far.
Yeah, senior year for me has definitely been busy, and I feel like every day there's always something else that I'm being told I need to do. And that can get overwhelming at times, but I'm also making the best out of it and trying to just have fun, especially with certain senior activities that are coming up that I'm really excited for.
I understand what you're talking about because you have application dates and scholarship dates, and there's always a new date on your horizon, right?
Luckily, our local scholarships, they're actually due today, but I got them done early because I like
Good
to be
for you.
prepared, so.
You're going through the same thing now, don't you, aren't you?
Yep. Yes.
So, both of you are veterans of the program now. What are some words that you put out there for people that may be interested or not sure if they should do this or not?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about your experience of getting into the program and why you did it, and encouraging words for somebody else to join.
Yeah, coming from someone who was originally, I feel like very shy, very introverted, this program has like completely changed my life, and I feel like I've grown from it so much confidence that I'll carry on for the rest of my life, and I'll be able to use in all of my future endeavors. So I would 100% say do it. At least just go to the first few sessions, see if you like it, which I'm sure you will, because you'll run into a lot of amazing girls who are all so encouraging and just want to help each other out and be there for you. So I would definitely recommend doing it if you're a junior. Go to the www.distinguishedyw.org program, so that way you can apply for it. And then also just do your research if you have questions. I would love to talk more about Distinguished Young Women and my experience.
Yes, I definitely knew that I wanted to do this program because I talked to people before who had done it, but I didn't realize how beneficial it would be to me, especially when it came to growing my skills in things such as interview and just public speaking in general, because I have grown so much confidence from this program, and it is time consuming, but I feel like the time that you put into it is worth it, and you will reap the benefits that you sow. So I really enjoyed this program, and there may be people who compare it to a pageant, but it is not a pageant, and you will gain a lot from this program. So I just hope that people will just branch out and know that you don't know how beneficial something is until you try it.
Well, thank you, JeeAnne Peterson, and thank you, Sophie McCall, for being our guest today and your participation in the program. And just from our interactions on the radio the last few weeks, I can see how the confidence has grown. And we didn't do flowers today, but thinking as you guys are winding up, flowers are due to Michael Slusher. She's in the background here. She has a passion for this program in recruiting and running the program. And thank you, Michael, for all the work you do with that and getting people involved and all the scholarship dollars that go out. And also, I know Michael would want us to make sure that we mention sponsors. This only happens because of sponsors too, because they fund the scholarships and the program. So if you're a participant in that, thank you very much. If you have more interest in what this program is about, you can reach out to Michael Slusher, probably through the, Sophie, why don't you give the site again here?
Yeah, so our Facebook is Distinguished Young Women of Fulton County, Cass County, and Pulaski County, and then the website is distinguishedYW.org.
Thank you very much. You can play our trivia game as we close, okay?
Sounds good.
Randy, you ready for this?
I've been thinking, so we'll see.
For annual sales, what is the most popular cereal in the United States? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios.
I'm gonna go with Cheerios.
Cheerios. Okay, that's a good choice. Sophie, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut. Is that one of your favorites?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is Cheerios.
Okay. JeeAnne?
I'm also going Honey Nut Cheerios.
Cheerios is part of the answer, but it's just the plain old-fashioned Cheerios. So, over $400 million worth of sales and 139 million boxes. That's a lot of cereal.
A lot of boxes.
A lot of boxes.
A lot of Cheerios.
So, on honor of National Cereal Day, go have a bowl of cereal this
There
morning.
you go.
And thank you, Randy, for the show, and thank you, Sophie and JeeAnne, for being guests.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys all. We'll talk to you again next Friday.